Hey everybody, welcome to Random Man Jamboree, episode 4. I bit a hole in my tongue because I sneezed wrong, because that might just be the person that I am in the world. And it hurts like hell, so there might be a little bit of a lisp in my voice today. But we're just going to go ahead and get into it, and you'll just have to deal with the lisp if it happens. All right, so we're clicking the button now. All right. Ooh. This is a band called Black Torture. They are a black/death metal band from Singapore. They've changed their name to Excruzio, but that band doesn't appear to be on the archives. So we're just going to listen to Black Torture today. Let's see here. We have a few releases to choose from. I'm going to see if I can find this compilation called Blasphemous Ritual, because the other two releases are splits, and their first release is just a rehearsal. None of them have any reviews, but they released a compilation in 2016. And they formed in 2004. And they had a demo and a split in 2005, released another split in 2006, and then they put together, I guess, a compilation of all of their work in 2016. All right, let's see what we can find. We're going to look up Black Torture, Blasphemous Ritual. I have suspicions about this, but I'm going to keep it to myself until we actually hear the music. Nothing on YouTube for that. Let me just look up Black Torture Singapore. Oh God, do not look up Black Torture on YouTube. Fuck. Jesus. Okay. I found a release from their split, Altar of Goat Fornications. So we're going to listen to their song, Altar of Sodomy, from that split. Let's see how it sounds. Okay, so my suspicions are correct. This band is a war metal band, which, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's basically a style pioneered by a band called Blasphemy from Canada. I believe they pioneered it, but they are like one of the most popular bands in the genre and one of the most classic bands in the genre. And it's basically a combination of death and black metal with typically very violent and aggressive aesthetics and relatively simplistic song structures. And the problem with war metal, the way I see it, is, okay, so for example, let's talk about Incantation for a second. Incantation has this song called Blasphemous Cremation. And at a certain point in the song, there's a riff happening that's extraordinarily violent and aggressive, and the production of it is very hard to make out. So it's kind of difficult to make out the riff that you're hearing. It's hard to like find a place for your ear to catch up. But the thing is, the value of this incantation song is that really muddy and hard to perceive riff kind of rises out of the mud to where the context of that violence becomes clear in the subsequent riff. The problem with war metal is oftentimes they never get out of the muddy, and it stays just this onslaught of violence that doesn't go anywhere meaningful. I have this problem with Blasphemy. I have this problem with Revenge. I have this problem with Proclamation. There's a couple of bands that do it rather well. I think that Human Agony is a good war metal band. Truppenstrom, if I'm pronouncing that right, I may not be, but Truppenstrom is a pretty good one. But yeah, the issue with war metal, in my opinion, is it tends to not go anywhere and rely exclusively on just this really rough aesthetic of violence and evil, which is fine, but it doesn't really have any depth beyond that. And it doesn't feel hypnotic. So it doesn't really have any value in like the sort of hypnotic style of a band like Ildjarn, for example. And yeah, I'm rambling a little bit, but let's get back to the song. Let's see if we get any improvement. I don't even know if you guys can really hear this. It's really rough. Okay, that was Altar of Sodomy. It was 1 minute and 5 seconds long. Let me just make sure, because this is a full split. It's going to fade into another song. Yeah, that was it. That was it for Altar of Sodomy. Yeah, that was... I really don't know if it's fair for me to judge based on something so short. Do they consider that a track? Because if they do, then it's perfectly... I'm going to count it. I'm going to count that as a track. So we just listened to a full Black Torture track. And yeah, that was by the books, like the problem with war metal, as I described earlier. It's very, very boring, very violent and aggressive. So there's a lot of energy to it, but that energy isn't channeled into any kind of meaningful development of the songs. So... maybe I'll listen to the rest of this, but yeah, I'll probably listen to the rest of this, but not on video. So in terms of a grade, I'm going to give this a D. I'm going to give this a D because it was rather weak, but you know, its redeeming qualities is that it does get like the aesthetic down like perfectly. If there was just a little more effort into songwriting, then this would have been a much better listening experience. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video.